The Pawpods are probably one of the most versatile Fitpaws pieces of equipment that anyone can purchase. You can throw them in your purse, you can throw them in your backpack, you can use them singly as in one, you can use them with two, you can use them with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can use them right side up with the knobby side up. You can use them upside down with the knobby side down, flat side up. You can use them stacked up on top of each other to make a ball. You can line them up with other equipment. You can line them up on top of other equipment. That being said, they are also one of the most challenging things for the dogs to get started on, and the one that seems to frustrate people the most, because the number one most common behavior that a dog exhibits when they start on the Pawpods is that they kick them out behind them. So the person has to get up or move and go and regroup them, and the time that's lost in doing that becomes quite frustrating. So over practice, and we've done this with hundreds of dogs, the easiest way I find to get started is literally to sit on the floor, not necessarily sitting, but on your hands and knees. Put your Pawpods into a block of 4, okay, and you will see this demonstrated, and you'll see it demonstrated a couple of different ways. And I do suggest that you don't start on the Pawpods first, because they are a smaller piece of equipment, so it's finite motor skills. So you really want the dog to understand the concept of 2 front feet on something, which is why we always start on the 14-inch disc, the 22-inch disc, or the Bosu or the balance pad, because that concept becomes ingrained into the dog's head, and then the pods become very easy. Yes, they still get a little bit of kick out from behind, etc., but it doesn't become so frustrating that you just don't want to go anywhere. And they really don't give you as much work as some of the others, not until you start getting them into combination with other things. So I always start with a block of 4. I usually have, and it is because I have a facility, but I think I would do it even if I was on my own. I always have at least 2 sets of pods. Sometimes I use 3 and 4. For the bigger dogs, even with that set of 4, that's a 1-foot block. It's still smaller than the space on the 14-inch disc. So 6 and 8 makes a difference, and you will see that demonstrated with a larger Aussie. So all you're looking for is the dog to touch something with their body onto the pods. So we're going to get started. You'll see a couple of different ways through here. It would be a long, cumbersome video if I were to show you teeny tiny step. So you've seen with the other videos, I use the food to move the dog around, food in front of their nose. That will help them get their feet onto the pod. If you lift the treat up, that'll take the pressure off a foot, and you can land it on. Don't care if they flip the pod up, don't care if it kicks out the back. All I want them to do is touch it. If they lie down and put their nose on it, awesome. If they lie down on them, awesome. If they sit on them, awesome. If they put a back foot on them, awesome. I don't really care what foot they're putting on it. I just want them to be engaged with it. So let's get started. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Nice. Nice. Off for now. So we've moved to 2 pods because he told me with his behavior that he totally understood 2 feet on. So I don't, again, it's 2 feet on 1, 2 feet on 2, whatever he does. He's just going to check some stuff up, come back. And I missed a mark there, but now he's sitting because he's thinking, okay, it can't be this simple. The little kicks them back, and there he is, one on each, and that is a huge understanding point for me, is when they do that. So you're going to get a little bit of repertoire here, a little bit of pop up, a little bit of back up, a little bit of jump, and start watching. He's going to start offering something on the green pod that tells me that I can move to another one. So there's what you want right there. You want him 1 foot on each or 2 feet on, and he's settled right down. So watch for what he does with the green one. Two feet on 1. 2 feet on 1. So that's my cue right there. It's really subtle, but I'm watching for it. And that's my cue that, yeah, let's try it with 2 feet on 1 pod. So not so simple. So now he's doing some different things because I've just made a big step change for him. So he's going to do some repertoire. There we go. So I use the lure again just to get him in, and there he settles right down. He says, okay, it's 2 feet. Now his feet are you know, they're like cat feet. So they fit nicely on there, and big dogs can do that as well. But you wouldn't probably progress as quickly to 1 pod as you would with a small dog like this. So let's switch to the big one. Now this is my hopping dog, so not all dogs will behave like this, but that looks really too easy, doesn't it? That's because she has the keys. She came in and she said, okay, it's 2 front feet on something, and yeah, she's hopping onto it, but the mechanics of that are sort of irrelevant. And I'm rewarding with her head level and making sure that her head is in a position that puts the weight over the front feet so that she gets that she's actually standing on the pods. You see how she hasn't done as much kick out, because she's on her feet, and it has nothing to do with the weight of the dog. It has to do with where she's actually standing. So now it's harder because that target is smaller with the green one out. So as soon as I put it back in, she settles right back down, and you see she's 1 foot on each because that's the size.
Yes. Left. The other left. Yeah! Good boy. What? Yes. You gonna stay on this station?
He says, this is my favorite.
Your favorite? Oh, yes. What you gonna do?
Now we've talked about in a number of videos manipulating the dog's head to get the feet into the correct position. So with this dog, yes, she's a little wound up, but I am aiming to get her right foot on the pods. You see how I lift the treat up a bit and move it just a little bit off to her left, which puts the weight onto her left front foot, meaning that the right front foot has no weight on it. Then I can have it drop back down onto the pod. And then as soon as I do that, I reward that, and they stand there because now they've got to readjust their own balance. So watching again, and you'll see that what I do very carefully is lift that head up, lifting it up. You see the foot come up and onto the pod, and as soon as she puts her weight on that, she has to bring up her left foot. Now, in this case, this exercise, I'm having her step forward. So I've literally lured her forward so that she moves her left front foot forward onto the pod. It was a new exercise I was trying to see if I could get with this size dog to get them to walk forward on the pods to keep all the feet on. It's a sort of a fairly extreme balance exercise, but again, I'm coming forward and up a little bit, and there she's on the pod. We'll do it one more time. This time, see, she's pretty quick. She gets it. So that's a third lure. Now, the senior dog. There are many different levels of senior dog. So this is a very extreme level. He is 11 and a half years old. He's within months of when he passes away from hemangiosarcoma tumor. And I do not use multiple pods for the senior dogs. If they lose their balance even the slightest a half inch, they're collapsing. And he is one of those that doesn't have tremendous balance because of his situation. You see his foot is just hanging there. He hasn't, it takes him a minute to figure out, you see the left rear adjustment, to figure out how to move his body to get it back in balance, just by making that small adjustment to put the foot up onto the pod. And you will see all the way through this video that I am luring him all the way, because he is at the point in his life where he does not believe that on his own in this situation that he can step up. Now once he gets there, he's okay, but I help him get to a position where he weight shifts, and that's a weight shift. It's going back, the weight is shifting back to the rear and to the left rear in particular. And again, it's the same exercise, just from a different direction, and you can see him, he's having to move around, and every time he can't put his foot down because the pieces within the body that need to adjust are not adjusting, and he needs more time to do it. I always reinforce every exercise at every level, and my toss and catch is my #1 game. So this is a great way to reinforce your pods. You're setting the dog up so they can't fail. His feet, no matter where he puts them, he's going to hit a pod. And you see she's far away from him. She's about 2-3 feet away. So she's back, she reaches in, she rewards. So the reward, and you see him dancing on those feet, trying to make sure that he gets them on there. It doesn't matter whether he flips them up or not. So that is a really tremendous exercise to proof with, and I hope you've enjoyed the video and that you've got value from it.